Alright, so today, before we get started on the P1, I know I have a bunch of new people to the channel. People are asking about the builds, so I'll go over what the P1 build is here in a second. Let me get the bike out of the way, and then we'll go over the plans for the P1, and then we'll go over what we're doing to it today, or this weekend. Alright, so what is the P1 build? P1, or the P1cruiser. So this is my first car. I've had it since I was 18. It was I think just a limited one, so the non-turbo. And like I said, it's the first car, so it's not going anywhere. Last year I decided to go for my plan on LS swapping it. So we are doing an LS swap in it. And I got a lot of motivation from American Gas or Hot Rod Shop, I believe that's the name of it, up in Michigan. They built the P1cruiser, so they sent me a bunch of pictures on their builds, and I've been using that for motivation for my builds and reference points and everything. So the plans for this, we have a 6.0 L76 block, so aluminum block. Came with the LS3 heads. We have a low profile oil pan coming, still debating on which intake. Probably just keep the truck accessories. This came out of a 07 Denali XL. But yeah, so 6.0, we did a Mustang 2 front cross member slash suspension kit in it. So that's what this is. Had to fab up all the frame rails and everything. Cut out everything underneath it. Added some frame rails underneath. And then tie that on to essentially a back half. So built the back half kit for it, 4 9-inch. So rear wheel drive conversion with a 4L80E. So pretty much a race car. Just not finished up the mini tubs, but have the mini tubs roughed in. Still need to finish up the floor and everything. That'll be the plan today. Use this 16 gauge to build the floor. Have a bead roller, add some a little bit of bead rolling to it, strengthen it up. Getting some parts back from powder coat, so should be able to get the axles on and the rear brakes, get it centered up, and start measuring for wheels and tires. But yeah, that's the P1 build. It's a LS swapped, rear wheel drive, converted P1cruiser. But yeah, still have a long way to go. The plans for it is to make a drag car slash daily out of it. So eventually I want to do try to get it out to Rocky Mountain Race Week this year. So I'm going to try to bust my butt. I have about 5 months left, or just under, to get it ready for it. But that's the plans for it. We have some parts coming. The Terminator X just shipped out. Haven't ordered the engine stuff yet. So the cam, the DOD delete, the VVT delete. And just new gaskets for it, bearings. That'll probably be next month. This month, you'll probably see me get the front seat out of storage right now. Get that out, put it in place to see where the pedal's going to sit. So I am planning on putting a pedal box in here for the gas and the brake. So I was trying to see if I have room behind it to do the rear-facing pedal box, or if I'm about to do the forward-facing pedal box. So that'll probably be it this weekend too. So we'll get the floor and everything finished up. If it warms up enough, try to get all this painted and undercoated. Get the axles in, get the rear centered where it should be. Start measuring for wheels and tires, then get the front seat out, or put the front seat back in and see how much room we have for the pedal box. Then I might order some parts here and there. But yeah, let me close the garage, keep some of this heat in here, and I guess every now and then I might need to open it up to start cutting stuff and whatnot, but I'm gonna try to keep it closed as much as we can. I was supposed to be getting a little shop heater in here, but we'll see about that. But yeah, we start getting some stuff prepped up, and I'll cut you guys back on here in a little bit. All right, so like I mentioned earlier today, we're going to be figuring out or trying to get the floor and the whole rear area closed up. So what I'm gonna do, well, I already did it, but I took the sending unit to measure the height of that. It's just over an inch for clearance. So since I know the top of the fuel cell is gonna sit right below this bar, just measure the distance between that bar and what I would have from the frame rails. And that's just about the right height to clear, but I don't want it super close. So what I'm gonna do is eventually cut up this square tubing and build a cage for the floor, or like a platform, so I have a little bit more clearance between the top of the sending unit and the floor. Also, because I'm about to put a trap door in there so I can fill the fuel cell. So we're just going to frame something up, have a little bit more clearance, and that way if I ever have to work in it, like get the fuel pump out or change some lines up or anything, I have more room to work with instead of it being like that much clearance between the top of the sending unit and the bottom of the floor. So I'm gonna take some measurements. It might take me a while to figure out exactly how I want to build this, but for the most part, I'll probably just be, let's see. For the most part, we'll probably just extend these frame rails out straight because the fuel cell's gonna pretty much be a rectangle. So we want to keep it coming out probably a little shy of here because we still have to taper it down so the tailgate could close. In between here, so sending unit will be here, filler neck or hole will be here, so that'll be where the door is. So I have to keep that in mind. But yeah, extend the frame rail. Probably put another bar across here, one across the front, and then I don't know, build some type of enclosure in between here and here just to brace the door up or have something to put the hinge on. So that's the plan, and then later we'll worry about the 16 gauge still there. Like I said, I have borrowed a bead roller from my buddy, so we'll be experimenting on that and get probably about 4 or 5 lines in there, get it as centered as possible. Also, these tabs for the coilover mounts, I'm thinking about adding a flat piece here just to gusset the back of them. So I'll do that before the floor goes on while I still have access to it. As far as tying in the existing seat, so I'll have to eventually angle this up to have it clear the rear end, but also tie it into the floor with giving me the full range of the back seat also. So that's gonna be a little tricky. It might just come straight up, clear the handle, or might be able to just remove these handles, who knows. But that's kind of where I'm at, and I'll cut you guys on here and there with the progress.
Stacking every month, put that work in, I deserve to stand. Bring the baddies to the front. It's the type of life that I want. It's the type of life that I want. It's the type of life that I want. Yeah. It's the type of life that I want. It's the type of life that I want. Look, I deserve some time away. I feel good cause I'm posted. Just won't put my feet in the sand. Ain't tryna be far from oceans. Don't want stress about nothing, just fruit and wine, I'm floating. Little vacation, little mimosa, yeah.
Alright, so I knew it was going to be close, but it's a no-go. It was a no-go for the bead rolling. Just the room and the size of material wasn't going to happen. I'd have to relocate the vise somewhere. Even no matter which way I turned it, really wasn't happening. Guess I probably could flip it around. Might be able to do it that way. If I flipped it around, have the handle on this side. And yeah, I'd give that a shot. But for the most part, pretty good fit in there. Figured if we did brace it up, like underneath with the other square tubing, put that piece here, and then one more here. I'll probably have it all the way along, or the whole way, but that'll definitely brace it up. Or just put this piece straight down the middle, and then once I build the trap door, we could work around that. But yeah, that's where we're at now. If I do decide to flip this around and bead roll it, I'll let you guys know. If not, I'll just start working on some closeout panels, close up this gap, and then probably put a piece here and then a piece on the bottom, so that way it's a little pocket here. Same thing on this side, clean up these edges here. Might leave this open for now, but eventually, like I said, I will close it up just because it's exposed to the outside. So keep some cold air out when I am driving it, or yeah, just close it out, keep the weather out for the most part. Probably cap these end pieces off. But yeah, so we'll close this out, build probably, or not even have to build it, just, well, probably just angle some pieces like that, close that out, we should be good to go. So I'll start messing around with that stuff. Like I said, I won't weld anything in yet, just get everything pretty close, roughed in, and then I'll still have to decide on what I want to do. Well, I'll need some more metal, but I'm gonna have to pretty much close this out also. But then that leaves a question on if that's gonna clear everything or not. Man, it's always something. So we'll see. We'll see if we have to modify this section, the seats, or what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'll cut you guys back on here in a little bit and see how it's looking. Nothing ever goes as planned, so that's what I'm trying to keep on it and knock out some of these problems before they actually, well, before I get too far down the road or close to my deadline and have to go back in and change a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to do it now so I can see what's going on. Alright, so this is where I'm at. Took the floor back out, and I was like, well, let me get the these little gussets welded in. So I got those welded in. They're cool now. Look at those welds. Not the best, but they're getting better. You see those? But went ahead and threw the coilovers in just to check some spacing, along with one of the trailing arms I got back. Like I said, I still need the upper two and the other bottom one. And then we get this squared up and see all the clearance we need. But I did that to see what I was going to have to cut out on the floor still. Like I said, it's just thinking a couple steps ahead. So I've had it marked previously, so I already knew I had to cut this out, which should have been cut out by now. But I'm going to have to cut this out and then cut a section out of this crossbar here. And what I'll do for this, I'll probably get a drive shaft loop and just cut it out and weld that drive shaft loop in here, and we should be good for clearance. If not, well, the only other way I could think of is put a plate here, and then one on the top. But I'd rather put a drive shaft loop there just in case, because that's pretty much what it's designed for. And then obviously just cut out this section of floor here, and that should give us plenty of clearance. This will be gone too, but with the coilovers I have, there's pretty much 2.5 inches of travel each way. So once this is out, there's like 5 inches in between here, so plenty of room. And you just have to keep that in mind on when I build the floor. It'll have to be somewhat able to at a curve.
That's awkward position.
So, yeah, that's kind of how it's looking. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, I can't wait to get everything back. But obviously, it's still in the transmission stand or jack, because everything will probably have to come back out when I go ahead and undercoat everything. All right, got a little bit of the game in the background. You know, I was in Charlotte for a couple years. Got the plates up here. No. Where my Charlotte plates at, Armor? North Carolina plates at. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's got it on the background for some noise. Now this took me a while to figure out how I want to do it, but I figured this would be the best bet. Is use this smaller square tubing, and then I'll put a brace in between these two sections. So I'll get this one tacked in, and this will pretty much be where the hinge will go for the trap door. I might get another section of it. I'm debating on either closing it out or just having one big door, so like this whole section will lift up, or shorten it up a little bit and just have this section open up. So it'd be like that, so the door would be this big instead of this big. But this one will be for support, and I figured once the floor is on, just stiffen it up a little bit. I thought about using this extra piece, but I get this. With a smaller piece, I have more room to run fuel rails or fuel lines underneath. So I'm still debating on where I'm going to route them. But if I was to use the larger one, it would limit the spacing in between here, so I wouldn't be able to run the fuel lines here. I'd have to probably bring them out here and run them underneath. Where this, I could keep them far away from the exhaust, wherever that's going to run, and then I don't have to worry about it in any of the moving parts with the suspension. So I can run them either this way or this way. Think about coming out this way underneath here, and then run them through this little channel, you know, because I did that on purpose, that gap, instead of closing it up more. So yeah, I did it on purpose. Nah, I'm just kidding. I get lucky every now and then. But yeah, run them under here, through here, and then they'll tuck down along the frame rails. They will clear the seat. I already checked that. So after about here, I'm not sure which way they'll run, but we'll figure it out. If not, I can run them under here and then just keep them under here along the frame rail. I can do that also, but that's kind of where I'm at. If I did use that piece, like I said, it'd been a little different. But yeah, I'll get this tacked in, get this cut down, and tack on a brace. If I had a little bit more, I'd probably angle them somehow. But I don't, so it'd be just a straight piece there to connect everything, and that'll pretty much be the floor. Excuse me. So with the sending unit, like I said, I could actually throw that in and show you guys what I was worried about with the clearance. I know I have stuff everywhere. One of these days I'll get the garage organized, but the building process, it's not gonna happen until after. So let's see. So yeah, that's still, well, I guess I'll still have about an 1.5 inches above it. But if I did do it right on the frame rail, like I said, it'd pretty much be right on top of it. So have that little extra room to work with. Like I said, the lines, yep, they'll fit under there just perfect. And then trap door there, be able to fuel it. If I need to service the fuel pump or sending unit at all, be able to just pull that out right away. The vent lines, whichever one of these are, I was thinking about just running it back up here, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's the plan so far. We'll get these tacked in. This tacked in. Probably go pick up some more wire. As far as this, it'll probably be plug welds. I'll probably drill some holes in it and just plug weld it into the frame. Well, not yet, because I still have to cut out for the door. I think I'm gonna cut it out, and I have a machine to put a lip on it, an air tool. It'll put a lip on it, and I'll sit down a little bit. But my buddy Zach, my powder coater, my welder, if I need something done, like the chromoly ends on there, that out of my skill set, I'll hit him up. But he said he might have some piano hinge, so that might be another option. But I do know, like I said, with the wagon or hatch, whatever you want to call it, I call it a wagon. The fuel cell has to be completely sealed from the driver compartment, so this will have to be sealed. So I'll probably might be like a latch or something, and some like the weather stripping or something to seal that. But yeah, it's just little by little. I think I'm getting ahead of myself, trying to think too far ahead when I just need to tackle one step at a time. Alright, so there we go. It's all welded up. Look at those welds. Yeah, it's all welded up. Just ran out of wire. Then getting that last one, this last side. I still need to do the bottom. Like I said, I'll do that when I go through and finish up welding this all the way in. I think weld the bottoms here. I'll do all that all at once when I'm underneath it. I might go get some more wire later on this afternoon. But I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, you know what? I could actually split that now, or split this piece, cut it in half, whatever it covers up, or split it to the edge of this, and that way I could roll it. So this side be rolled, and then this half I could roll it, so that'll be some strength there. So I might be able to just right down the middle. So we're looking at doing that. And if I'm at Lowe's, they'll probably have piano hinges or some type of hinges. I'll look into getting something, and if I cut it in half, I might as well just make this whole piece, just be able to lift up, and that way I could see just about everything when it is time to fill it up. And then I'll just close it off from there, and then this lip here. So I think that's the plan. Alright, so coming out the next day, getting back on the P1, and I might switch it up. I still want to finish the floor this weekend, so we're going to pay attention to that, but we might switch it up with something else here in a second. Told you guys I knew I had another backup set of wire. I went ahead and picked up 2 more spoils of the Lincoln Electric wire, so we'll be using that. The Harbor Freight stuff, that's just going to be used if we really need it. But we should be good. Like I said, I'm gonna plan on finishing the floor, or at least as much as I can. I think I have enough material to do these 2 side pieces here. Maybe not enough to do this back piece. That might come later. But this part, the 2 side pieces, definitely not enough to do behind the seat into the rear trunk area or floor. But I do plan on cutting this out for the rear end. Plan on cutting that floor out, or the section I need. And then I did order just 1 drive shaft loop for where the drive shaft will go, or where the yoke is, and that cross member. So we'll cut that out and weld that drive shaft loop into there to give it the clearance. So that'll be the start. It is the floor. Now what I'm thinking, I still need to get the seat out of here, or get the seat out here, test fit it. But what I'm thinking with the rear end in place, or yeah, in place. Still missing a couple trailing arms, but as far as being centered and at ride height where I've had it marked for the longest, I know I still probably throw the axles in there and everything, but that'll come later throughout the week. But today I might get the motor back on, the engine hoist, get the engine hoist out, put the motor back on, put the spare housing for the 4L80 on, and mock it up into place so I can see where the motor mounts need to be tacked into place, and we'll go from there. Because Ravi, he's going to need the engine hoist here in a little bit, probably later this week. So if I get this in place, I can see where everything's going to sit, get the motor mounts tacked in. Might leave the motor in here on the engine mounts, build the transmission tunnel and all that. So that way, depending on how long Ravi needs the engine hoist, I'm not worried about it. I don't have to worry about getting it back anytime soon. If the motor is mocked up into place, have started ordering some bearings. So cam bearings, main bearings, order those. Have not ordered the cam kit yet, or the DOD, or the VVT. And then the guy on Marketplace, it's Marketplace. Intake's been sitting there for probably 2 months now, LS3 intake, and he won't budge on the price. I'm not going up to what he wants for it, so we might just go aftermarket intake. But yeah, that's the plan. So finish the floor, and then probably mock the motor back up, get the motor mounts welded into place, and go from there. And I guess we could use something for a makeshift drive shaft. Just try to keep everything in line, make sure the pinion angle and everything's not too far off. I think you can have like a 1 to 3 degree difference before stuff starts getting too out of whack. But yeah, that's the plan. So came out here a little bit later than I was planning on, but had to let it warm up a little bit. It's 48 in the garage right now, so we'll see. But yeah, let me get this floor into place. I still debating on about the hinge. I was in Lowe's yesterday and they had some hinges and I just didn't get it. Probably should have picked it up, but we'll see. Not in a rush for that. But yeah, let me put the camera down, start setting everything back up, and I'll cut you guys on with all the updates throughout the day. Alright, so this might not look pretty, but I'm sure it'll turn out right once I get it cut out of metal and welded up and all that. We'll close up obviously these corners here, and this part here will kind of go in a little bit. I'll probably do it out of 3 parts just because of the shape. So it'll probably be a little piece here and a little piece in here. We'll pretty much just close out all these gaps. So let's be a little pocket in here. Who knows, fire extinguisher or a little tool bag or something. Same thing with this side. Be able to put stuff in those little pockets here and there. And then obviously the floor will go on top. And then this side will be the trap door. This side just be a floor. And that's pretty much it back here. Enjoying that view. Now, but this is pretty much what I do. I'll take the paper templates, trace them out to the steel, and I'll cut these all out with the angle grinder. And then some of them I'll have to shape them a little bit once I get on the car. But for the most part, try to keep everything pretty easy. Alright, so thought I was going to have to go to Harbor Freight, but gotta improvise. Just use a wire wheel. Got all in those tight to reach places. So yeah, next I'll throw you guys on time lapse. Get all these tacked in. I had to massage them a little bit with a hammer and get them to fit. Like I said, right now they're pretty close. Like I said, I have to curve this a little bit more. Where's that remote at? Yeah, so we'll massage them to fit, round them off, get them nice and smooth, and go from there. But yeah, so Like I said, I'll throw you guys on a time lapse and cut you guys on here in a little bit.
I've been on the grind all summer. I could really use a bag right now. Yeah, I've been on the grind all summer. Yeah. But I could really use a bag right now. I just need a bag. Need a bag right now. Need a bag right now. Yeah, I just need a bag. Need a bag right now. Need a bag right now. I just need a bag now. I'm just milking this. See, I'm a cash cow. If I hear about another lame rapper in the game, can't promise I ain't gon' lash out. I just want a bag, need a bag, yeah. Drippin' in finesse, got the swag, yeah. Knocking over any rapper in my path, yeah. She gave me brain till my brain blast. Make my brain splatter, brain matter, then she came after me. I've been on the grind all summer. I could really use a bag right now. Yeah, I've been on the grind all summer. Yeah.
Alright, so I still have a lot of finishing work to do, fill up some gaps here and there. So fill up that. Remake these. The ones I had were a little too short or skinny. So I have to make them a little bit longer or a little different shape. I guess I could tack those in and then just make that little triangle, but it'd be easier if it's one piece. So we'll see about that. Also going to have to cut that in half so I can make the trap door. Still debating on what type of like latching system I want. If I want something flush mount that goes underneath and just latches to that square tubing or what, but we'll get that figured out. We'll finish all this up and probably wake up in the morning and seam seal everything, and then primer and paint. But yeah, just little pieces here and there. Finish welding most of the stuff up, but I think just some little stitch welding here and there. I'll have to weld the whole thing all the way in. But yeah, that's what it's looking like. That's gonna be the trunk area. Like I said, a little storage here, a little storage pocket here, and then we'll have to probably pick up some metal on the way into work tomorrow. I'm thinking just 2 more sheets of probably the 18 gauge. Cap this off and figure this area out. That's gonna be the confusing part. But yeah, we'll get that. Well, the clamp wasn't there. This I'll probably just drill some holes and plug weld it, and then run some seam sealer along it once I tie it in to here. Still need to cut this out, so don't let me forget that. But yeah, that's probably it for this one. For now, what I'm gonna do is just climb up under the car. Well, no, I'm gonna cut it off and probably start another video of getting this into place and trying to see if I get the motor mounts welded in today before it gets too dark.